In today's thrift store challenge, we will be tackling none other than Shop Amber Interior's website, as well as gathering lots of inspiration from her books. And then we're gonna head off to the thrift store and see what we can come up with for a whole lot less. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Starting off with one of the more expensive purchases you can make through Shop Amber Interiors is, of course, furniture. My advice when you are thrifting furniture is always have some sort of inspiration picture that you can kind of refer back to make sure that your thrifted piece does really, in fact, resemble your inspiration piece that you're really trying to go for. So I love this chair from Shop Amber Interiors, but it is over $800, not including shipping. Even upholstered chairs at Target can cost at least $200. So when I found this chair at the Goodwill for just $20 and then I had a 35% off coupon, I thought it is worth the attempt to try to make this similar to my inspiration piece. Right off the bat, I knew this was going to have to be reupholstered because the fabric was damaged. Other things I like to consider are the integrity of the wood or the metal, as well as, is it structurally sound? Is the chair wobbly? Will it need to be refurbished in any other way? Otherwise, the chair was in really great condition. I just had to remove this top piece here. So I just had to cut the fabric and unscrew it from both the top and the bottom, so that way it can kind of just pop right out. Similar to the bottom, just had to unscrew the bottom cushion from the chair itself, as well as just loosen it ever so slightly so I could remove it from the chair so I would be able to reupholster it. I like to remove the fabric. It's not necessary, but I do like to remove the fabric so that when I go to apply my own fabric, it's just basically copying and pasting. I'm taking the fabric that was damaged, going over to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, even the thrift store. You can find great fabric at the thrift store. I had some of this fabric left over from a different project, so I only needed to buy 1 yard at 40% off, so it was super cost effective. With a pencil, I just like to trace out what the shape of the original fabric looked like, and I do give myself a little bit of slack. And personally, I like to run things like this through the sewing machine so that way you just get a really clean finish. When you try to upholster without sewing, you just create so much bunching in fabric and it looks like a DIY project, and you want things to look as seamless as possible. It's basically like creating a fitted sheet that does not have elastic on the corners. So I just like to keep testing it as I'm buzzing it through the sewing machine. I'll bring it back to the chair just to make sure everything is lining up nice and straight. When I'm happy with the overall fit of the cushion cover, I'm just going to now staple it in from the bottom. So I'll flip it around, making sure not to pull too taut so that way that seam now has become wavy. You want to make sure that you're just pulling taut enough to keep everything nice and straight throughout. With the fabric in place, I did decide to put the black piece that was initially there back on just to give it a more finished look, and then just screwed the chair back together and tightened it back up so it'd be nice and secure. For the top piece, this is where things can get a little bit tricky. So one thing I have found that is helpful is obviously to just remove the fabric like we did for the bottom. You want to cut out enough fabric, giving yourself some allowance on either side when you go to staple. But before you do that, and you need to place some sort of a finished backing on, you want to buzz through your sewing machine almost like one side of a pillowcase just to create some nice seams there. And you're going to do that about 1.5 inches in, so that way you can staple this fabric on to the back piece, but then when you pull the fabric over, it looks nice and finished. With everything stapled down now and the back piece can just kind of fold over and lie flat, I just did some Velcro adhesive to the back so it would stay nice and in place. And why this is tricky is I need to get this piece in so that way I can screw the pieces back together. So I still need access to these screws before completely attaching it in place. Of course, it's not identical to the $850 chair from Shop Amber Interiors, but for just about $35, I think I have a super similar look on a budget. Now, before you throw away that leather fabric, one thing I like to try to do is be as resourceful as possible. Now, some of the fabric, yes, was damaged, but there were areas that were still fine. So taking this paper box here, I'm just going to separate the tops so that way I can cover all around that top section there with the leather fabric. Just taking a combination of Gorilla Glue spray adhesive and hot glue, just going to attach the pieces basically to where the paper had been attached, but now we're just gonna do that with the leather fabric. From the inside, I just added a small amount of hot glue so you wouldn't be able to see it from the front when you're looking at the box. Also just working my way around the sides of the box with the remaining fabric that was still great. Boxes like these can be really great in offices, especially if you're looking for a little bit more closed storage. And I love a just free micro project that makes the perfect shelf styling moment. If you love Amber Lewis and you love shop Amber interiors, odds are you love vintage wood and vintage primitive pieces, which works out really great because you can find so much wood vintage furniture at the thrift store, but more often than not, it is damaged. So I'm gonna just run through a couple little quick things you can do. If you come across a piece of vintage furniture, a vintage wood piece that you really love, but it definitely needs some TLC. Some problems with this piece here were the top section. Some of the layers of wood were missing, as well as both of the spindles on either side of the middle shelf were also missing. But every problem has a solution. You just have to find the one that's gonna fit the best. Always love to start out with a really good disinfectant and clean, get all the dust and grime removed from any wooden piece. With the wooden layers that were starting to separate, because I didn't want those to break off as well, I just attached them with some Gorilla Wood glue and then clamped it down. For the smaller nicks out of wooden furniture, I just like to use wood filler. I like this one specifically because it never dries out. For the larger imperfections, I like to use this material here. It is called Quick Wood. It's almost like a clay material, but what is nice about this is that you can mold it to whatever you need, which in a piece like this is really important because there was a lot of details in that top section there. So I wanted to make sure that I would be able to mold that Quick Wood on. And of course I can just sand it off and make it nice and smooth, but I like to do that so then that way it becomes all uniform. After we go in with our paint and our stain, you would never know that there was anything missing from this top section here. Of course, we'll do the taupe and wax trick. You can take any taupe paint that you find. This one I tried is called Driftwood. It's a little bit more gray undertoned, which I think a lot of true primitive pieces really have. Then I'm just going to take several different types of brushes to get that wood grain look that I'm really trying to achieve. I'll also go in with a light brown paint and mix that with a small detail brush to make sure everything looks nice and seamless. Pieces like these are great in kitchens. You can use them to store different glassware or mugs. I'm choosing to use it in a bathroom, so we're going to collect a bunch of different thrifted accessories and place them on this shelf here. Places like Magnolia or Shop Amber Interiors charge so much for things that look just like this, and just with a little bit of TLC, you can revamp a thrifted piece and make it look so beautiful. Also, don't forget about the power of repurposing older vintage wooden pieces. I found these little wooden cubes. I just simply took some glass glue, some cloches that I also thrifted, flipped them upside down, and now I have some large scale glass wood vases. Another wood piece I find very often at thrift stores are wooden rolling pins, and there are infinite amount of projects you can do with rolling pins. So as far as I'm concerned, what you have are two wooden handles and a really thick wooden dowel. For the handles, you can cut those off and use them to stamp any fabric, create whatever design you would like. Those can be really great for that. Slicing them down a little bit thicker can be little lids for hurricane vases from the Dollar Tree. Just add some sort of a handle for the top so you can pull them out, or also just leaving them a little bit taller so you can use them as a base to another thrifted piece. There are lots of fluted and scalloped marble pieces through Shop Amber Interiors line. So when I'm at the thrift store, I'm looking for marble pieces that are good quality, still in really good condition, that I could just maybe repurpose a bit. So I'm going to take a small section from this large wooden dowel and this scalloped marble tray. And then with E6000, I'm going to attach our wooden dowel to the bottom. And now what we have is kind of a raised cake stand, a raised tray. This is great for shelf styling. This is great in a kitchen, great if you're hosting. And it was so affordable because we shopped secondhand. Moving along now into textiles, same kind of deal here. As far as I'm concerned, if I find any waffle knit fabric, it doesn't matter if it's a towel, a robe, a shower curtain, just plain old fabric, it doesn't matter because I can now make that fabric into whatever I'm needing in that moment. I found this waffle shower curtain that was originally from World Market. It is 100% cotton, just like the one from Shop Amber Interiors, but instead of leaving it as a shower curtain, I just removed that grommet section from the top because I won't be needing it. And then I'm simply just going to fold the fabric in half and cut that down long ways. Going to just pin the side down that I cut, making sure that it's symmetrical with the other side, and then we'll just buzz that as well through the sewing machine. So now what I've created for $2 is some really great large waffle bath towels, which I was definitely more in need of than another shower curtain. You could even take this a step further and grab some fringe trim and just sew that on as well, so you get more similar to the look from Shop Amber Interiors. There's honestly so many different things that you can repurpose from the thrift store to get that really elevated look on a budget. With all that being said, that really wraps it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments which project or hack or find was your favorite, and I will see you guys back here next Sunday. Bye for now.